Build a better bathroom today with help from Lowe's, where you'll find great deals on everything you need during the Kohler Dream Bathroom event. So hurry into your neighborhood store to get 10 to 15% off select Kohler and Sterling bath products that are sure to transform any bathroom. Don't miss out on all of the great savings happening right now at Lowe's. Selection varies by store. Valid February 11th through March 13th. U.S. only.
Blog Talk Radio.
And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Can you feel it, folks? It's that time of year. We've all got to sit down and watch a little bit of NASCAR. Chase Elliott going to start from the pole the Daytona 500 next week. Got to watch Denny Hamlin win the Unlimited last night. Got to breathe in some imaginary nitro via the television today as the NHRA gang got things kicked off out in Pomona. It's my favorite time of year, favorite time. Last week's guest, Chris Creighton, on hiatus to recharge the batteries. He's back with us this week. How you doing, buddy? Hello, Chris. Guessing Chris isn't with us just quite yet.
Well, there you go. How you doing, guys?
Hey, there you are. How you been?
Yeah, doing good down here in Mississippi. It's warmed up a little bit. Ready to go dirt track racing. Man, oh man, they get you pulled in on that NASCAR, don't they? And you can almost guarantee you can pick who can win, you know. But Denny Hamlin had a real good race the night before, and you know, it's speed weeks, and it gets all of us race car fans real excited when we get into this week because we'll start attending our weekly events and bi-weekly events very soon here when it starts to warm up.
Yeah, just a couple more weeks for us here, too, locally, and we'll be getting our stuff kicked off here in about another 5-6 weeks. But, man, they've been doing some racing down in Florida, haven't they, down at East Bay and Bubba and all the other tracks down there in Florida, Mason Ziegler.
Well, yeah, and, you know, they told us that Davenport wasn't going to do nothing this year. He might be dead gum. It looks like he's proven them wrong. I think they've changed his name from Jonathan to John. He's done become a new man, for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely picked up right where he left off in 2015. He went down there and was able to pick him up a couple of wins down there at East Bay. And I'm telling you, I think the most consistent I've seen so far down there out of the Lucas Oil boys are you got Jonathan Davenport. Of course, he's ripped off a couple of wins. Josh Richards was able to pick up 4 wins already this year. Scott Bloomquist got a win, a couple of podium finishes. I mean, it's the usual list of characters doing right what they were doing when they left off last year.
Yeah, money buys good race cars, and that's the name of the game, unfortunately, in this business. But now you got some other guys who are showing a great effort too this year, and I see some rising stars coming up in the Lucas Oil, the World of Outlaws, and you know these guys are coming right out of racetracks near you and me, and all across the United States. So. We'll see the tide turn soon where new drivers get up there. It is refreshing to see Davenport running up there as well, but, you know, kind of missing seeing some of the other guys. Ready to see them win, too.
Yeah, Mason Ziegler was able to pull off his first ever Lucas Oil late model feature win the other night down there with his Longhorn chassis. He had a pretty good battle going with Bloomer for a little while, and he was able to sneak around him and hold him off for his first ever big payday, Pennsylvania product, hoping to see some more big things out of him this year. Bloomer, as a matter of fact, that when he picked up, that was his feature win number 557. Can you believe that?
Wow. Well, yeah, he's been around since, well, I guess the late 80s, early 90s. He used to kick up a lot of dust down here in Mississippi. Well, we all know what happened, so. But he's definitely proved that he is the top dog. And, you know, we got something to look forward to. Bloomquist is not going to be tearing them up for the next 20 years. It'll be somebody else. So keep your eye out, guys. Some of these guys will probably be on the radio show, and who knows, in 20 years they may be the next Bloomquist.
Yeah,
I want to do a shout-out real quick. Our producer sent us a little message. He said Mark Hollenhead from Brandon, Mississippi, says he loves the show, and he's going to be listening every week. So shout-out to Mark. Also, we met some new friends today over at Dirt Talk Racers, or Dirt Talk something. Let me get that up real quick. Billy Shoemaker sent me a friend request and wanted us to shout out to their group there. and I told him I would. But now I can't find it. So going with what you were saying there, and I'll pull this up real quick. Oh, yeah, Dirt Track Talk. Okay, it's Dirt Track Talk, Duck Owens and Billy Shoemaker there. They asked for any listeners to go like their page and told us we could advertise over there at any time we needed to. So I want to give a shout-out to our new friends at the Dirt Track Talk.
Well, most definitely. Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker, for that warm invitation. And, we're always here to help everybody out in the racing world, and we appreciate it when somebody lends a helping hand right back to us for sure. But
yeah, I think we got some new listeners tonight, so hopefully they got that. Hopefully they got that memo there. We got a special shows planned tonight, don't we? There, Damien.
Oh, we got a great show coming at you tonight. I mean, it couldn't be any more perfect.
Valentine's,
we're talking
man.
About, the ladies of the dirt, Valentine's Day. So might want to turn the lights down a little bit, put on some easy music, and go from there on since it's Valentine's Day.
I don't know,
Valentine's
man.
Day to all you ladies.
We got a lot of dirt track guys out there. They're probably in the shop, serving up the old champagne beer, with their wives, talking about turn the radio up there, darling. Dirt talk hours on.
Oh mercy. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting things kicked off. We got our first ever ladies show tonight. We got a young lady, 17-year-old Samantha Lieberman, going to be joining us here, and she's out there getting it done and rubbing elbows in the toughest sprint cars region in the country. We're talking about Pennsylvania, home of the Pennsylvania Posse. And anybody that knows anything about sprint car knows that on a local level, you're not going to find any better sprint car drivers that race week in and week out on a local level than right there in Pennsylvania. And she's been getting it done out there with those guys, so she'll be on here with us in just a little while to talk about what it's like racing in a mostly male-driven sport, getting it done as a girl, and her success, her story, and what got her into it. And I really can't wait to hear what she's got to say. It sounds like she's had a pretty good little career so far, and at such a young age of 17, she's still got a lot of room left to grow and take that career wherever she wants it to go, for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a flux of young talent out there, and it's everybody's on equal ground when you step in that race car. That's the one thing that I tell you, racing has become universal throughout the sport, whether we're talking about motocross or race cars. And not only is it universal, but it's also an attraction now to the younger generation. And I think there's some great benefits in it. There again, there is some setbacks I don't think some people completely thought through, but we're not going to not pull for our drivers for sure. But the young talent is there, and these older drivers, they're going to have to compete with them. And it's definitely made things interesting, and I think it's great for racing, because what you do is when you have young talent out there, they're going to have their friends too. And you got the star football players. Well, you've also got some seniors who are star race car drivers, and I think that's pretty cool.
Right. I'm sure most of us have probably seen via social media, Facebook or wherever you get your news from. But there's a video going around right now of a young quarter midget driver out in California who had a little bit of an issue with the throttle. Throttle ended up sticking, and this young lady was out there turning laps in the parking lot trying to keep people safe. And as you were speaking about the football players, we had a guy almost the size of an NFL linebacker put himself in harm's way and jumped right in front of this little girl's cart and stopped it, got her safe, and all that good stuff. They're going to be joining us next week to talk about what happened out there, and we're going to be doing a kids racing show next week, and I'm really excited to talk to all the players involved in that, because if you haven't seen the video, man, that could have turned out really bad. I'm sure you've seen that video, haven't you, Chris?
That's correct, Damien. It's a really cool deal. The man reached his arm out there and basically saved the young racer from taking probably a direct impact into the wall. And the investigative reporters that we've got over here at the Dirt Talk Hour, I tell you what, we've done already secured both the parents, I believe, and the child and Doug, right? Doug, the hero.
Yeah, Doug. I got a message from Doug this afternoon. He's a lot more than just a hero. He's very heavily involved in youth racing out there in California, and he's been at it for quite a few years, so he's going to come on and talk to us about what they got going on out there. And that young lady's name, by the way, was Taylor Myers Bowerman, 7 years old. And, man, folks, if you haven't seen the video, we'll post it to our show page here after the show is over with. But give it a watch. I mean, 7 years old, you have a throttle stick, and I've seen seasoned veterans that have seized in that exact situation, and bad things have resulted. But at the young age of 7, this little girl had the knowledge and, the frame of mind to do what she needed to do to keep everybody safe. And then Doug jumps in there and does what he does, and situations resolved what could have been a very bad situation. But they'll be on here with us next week. We're going to talk about some kids in racing. And we got another guest coming on tonight here, don't we, Chris, from down your neck of the woods?
Yeah, Stephanie Necaise Cooper. She's a local track champion. Started at a pretty young age herself. She is everybody's sweetheart at the racetrack. Always a kid favorite. Loves doing autographs. Always a top-class driver. Stephanie Necaise is who we'll have on tonight and on as our second guest. Also, if you're listening, go ahead and shoot us a text what your phone number is. That way we know that you are there in the studio. If you're listening to us already, Sam, make sure you do that for us, please. Okay, for Stephanie, she started racing a Stinger back in 2006 and 2007. She finished third at South Ms Speedway. And then in 2008, in the Stinger division, she won her first points championship over at South Ms Speedway. In 2008, she was the first female to ever win a race at A-1 Speedway, formerly the St. Tammany Speedway. In 2009, she moved up to the pure stock division and won 2 championships. This was actually her first year since she started racing that she did not get a win, but she finished, I believe, second in the points. So definitely a young talent there, and they always say at Hattiesburg Speedway, if you can win there, you can win anywhere. And Stephanie is definitely one of those that kicks up the dust. Actually, she's been known as Stephanie Necaise for a long time. She just got married, so we've had a tough time trying to get her to get the new name Stephanie Necaise Cooper out there and give her new name some plenty of exposure. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's great to have all y'all listening. My producer is going crazy right now. He said he said that there's a lot of call-ins and stuff, so y'all keep those lines busy, and we appreciate y'all listening. Damien, what time's your guest coming on there?
Oh, Samantha is going to be joining us here in just a couple of minutes. She's out on the East Coast. She's Eastern Standard Time, so at 8:15 here our time, she'll be calling into the studio, which should be momentarily. But again, hitting back to where she's from, man, that is a hotbed, the hottest of hotbeds for sprint car racing out there on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. You've got guys, Fast Freddie Raymer comes out from that area. Stevie Smith came from out in that area. Stevie's father, all Pennsylvania products. And anybody that used to watch religiously, back in the old days, the World Outlaws used to be on TNN and all that good stuff. And every time they would go out to, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, to Williams Grove or something like that, these outlaw regulars, they never could get in there and cherry pick. They always had to contend with probably 8 or 9 really good, fast, regular guys out there that could get the job done at any given time. And this young lady's out there, and 17 years old, man, rubbing elbows with some of the best in the business. I can't wait to hear what she's got to say, what got her interested into the sport, who she grew up watching, who she patterns her driving style after. Sure, we're going to learn a lot about sprint car racing in Pennsylvania, that's for sure.
Yeah, really excited to hear.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think we all have the allergies too, so if we sound like we're talking in the mic there, it's actually that time of year again, allergy season.
Yeah, I went into a sneezing attack about 10 minutes before the show started. I looked at my wife and I said, this isn't good, because once it starts, it usually goes for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a multiple sneezer as well. We were at the restaurant earlier, and it happened to me. I was like, oh my goodness, I may have to leave, and thank goodness it was just one. So.
Well, did you happen to catch up on any of the action that went on down at Screven at the Winter Freeze over this past weekend?
we can always pull something up there.
Well, I know night number 1 down there, Shane Clayton was able to pick up a win, got the win down there, and I think Rick Eckert was able to best a 46-car field last night down there for the win. And that's another thing I wanted to hit on. You know, with the economy being the way it is, you know, we've all seen car counts down over the last year or two, and that was pretty much across the board everywhere you go, anywhere in the country. But, man, looking at some of these car counts down there from Speed Weeks, it's looking promising. I mean, we've had East Bay with 40 and 50 car counts almost every night, Screven, you know, reaching 50 cars. So hopefully the racing industry and the community is going to bounce back a little bit, and we're going to see a little bit more cars across the country at some of these tracks, because last couple of years it's been kind of depleting.
You're exactly right. I read an article, Dick Bergeron's Speedway Illustrated, and they're not a sponsor of our show, but let me tell you something, guys. If it's a good product, I'll give them free advertisement. And if you ever want to get a magazine that comes to your house and you want the inside of dirt track racing, I have to suggest Dick Bergeron's Speedway Illustrated. Kenny Wallace wrote an article, and he said that the tracks were looking healthier. And it's not that the economy is better. People just are knowing how to spend wiser. When I'm looking and seeing 47 super late models at Screven, and the season hasn't really even officially, you know, kicked off at your local tracks, that's amazing. You know, it's really it's a good sign that tracks are opening back up. There's plenty of cars out there to race, and the numbers are looking great right now, Damien, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm chatting back and forth with Samantha as we speak. She's trying to get into the studio, but the studio lines are a little bit jammed, so I'm going to send our producer her number real quick. That way he knows exactly who to look for.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Sometimes on the fly.
I tell you what, when I've done a show for several years, and go ahead and do what you got to do, Damien. And I tell you, having 3 guys, me, Damien, and our producer, CJ Sports, it's really it's made things a lot easier. We keep things flowing a lot better. Our producer's actually in one place, and I'm in Mississippi, and Damien's over in the Midwest, and we're triangulating it to bring about dirt track talk every Sunday night from 8 o'clock to 9. And sometimes there will be racing going on, so we have to make sure that we're scheduling drivers and interviews that's not going to conflict with their racing. But at the same time, we're bringing it to you at an hour that Damien and I both felt in our younger generation, it was nothing like sitting down about this time of hour and watching something on the old network that they cut off. And we're going to try to bring you a show a little bit to that. Now, I promise you there at the end, I will not be going crazy like old Dave did, but we will keep things real here. And just like he said, I think in his infamous interview, we're going to talk about what y'all want to talk about. And so we've got emails. We've got a hotline to call. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know that y'all are out there listening to the Dirt Talk Hour. We'll bring you news from all across this nation, and even Australia. They kick up a lot of dirt down there during the off season, so we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Sam says you're in the studio here with us. Can you hear us? I don't think she's on with us quite yet. Trying to get her into the studio here.
Make sure she presses 1. Do it again. Okay. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh,
hey,
great.
There she
yes,
is.
we can. Go ahead, Damien.
Hi. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a problem getting you into the studio, but how you doing this Valentine's evening?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, we're sitting down doing what we do best, bench racing.
That's right. Keeping the hot lines gravy with that Dirt Talk Hour.
Well, Sam, we've been going over a little bit of your bio a little bit here in the opening of the show. 17-year-old from the hotbed of sprint car racing out there in Pennsylvania. I mean, tell us, as a female, what's it like to be out there running with the best sprint car racers in the country?
It can be tough at times, There's a lot of talented guys out here, but I like to think I'm just another driver behind the wheel doing what I love, whether I'm a female or not.
Now, you're just now getting into the 305 class, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, give us a little bit of a background of how you got started and where you got bit with this racing bug.
Well, I was 5 years old, and my dad was actually going to a car show and took me with him. So we walked past one of the quarter midget booths, and they had one of those little racing simulator things, and I got one of the certificates to come to like a free trial kind of thing. So I went to that, and it was basically like a fall in love thing, and I just never got back out. So I stayed in quarter midgets for 7 years, and then I ran micro sprints for 3 years, and now I am entering my second year in the sprint car.
Now, looking back with all that talent that we've been talking about out there in Pennsylvania, you know, when you first got into racing, I mean, is there a driver that you like to pattern yourself after, someone you really looked up to and said, that's who I want to drive like?
Not necessarily. I mean, I always had Mare Stelfox in my life. She was definitely someone who I looked up to. But, yeah, that was one of my main role models in racing.
What do you plan to do with racing? I mean, would you like to stay in the open wheel ranks? Do you have aspirations of moving forward into something else? Or, I mean, what's going on? Where do you want to see this go?
I'd love to see it go 410 eventually, but that's a lot of money. So I'd get in anything given the opportunity.
Okay, Sam. You're being raised up right now in the bread and butter of the sprint car racing. It was actually the founding grounds kind of where sprint cars come from. Tell us about your racetrack and your home racetrack and why you like racing there so much and the other tracks that you'd venture off to.
I actually switch home tracks between, we have Bridgeport Speedway in New Jersey. We also have New Egypt Speedway in New Jersey and Grandview Speedway in Pennsylvania. So I run with Tri-State Race Saver Series. So we just have a traveling schedule, kind of.
Cool. So it's a traveling 305 series?
Yes.
Wow. And you spent 7 years in midgets. How many championships?
I don't have any championships. In micro sprints, I ran 125s for 2 years. The first year, I placed 5th, and the second year, I ran 3rd in points. In my third and final year in micro sprints, I ran 270s, but I did not run for points that year. And quarter midgets, we didn't run for points back then.
Right.
That was just a.
Now, we were
fun
talking a couple of days ago. Yeah, we were talking a few days ago, Sam, about for you your most memorable moments. You know, it's nothing really that stands out hardware-wise or statistic-wise. You said for you it was the little things like getting to spend time with your family and your friends and things of that nature. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
One of my outstanding favorite memories is my first micro win that I got to share with everyone that was close to me, and that was pretty cool. But, yeah, typically, like, the little things, like when kids come up and ask you to sign something for them, like, it's just stuff, like, moments like that really build up and make the experience that much greater.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
We had been talking also about some insight that you might have for younger racers, especially lady racers trying to get into it and what to expect and how to maintain a positive attitude. I mean, you know, when you think about it from an aspect of and a question of that nature, I mean, what would you say to someone that's just starting to get into it to really keep them with a positive, upbeat attitude?
I'd tell younger drivers that if you love it, hold on to it. Definitely follow your dreams, and females especially, don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do it or discourage you because you're definitely capable. Just keep at it.
Sam, you made a great point right there. A lot of times, I guess, when you're chasing your dreams, you seem to go through some pretty tough times, but that's kind of what builds the spirit, right? That's kind of what really makes you know that you're doing what you love when you have those critical moments where it tries your patience.
Oh, definitely. I myself have definitely gone through it. I think every great driver has had their bad days, their bad seasons even, but it just makes you realize that it's definitely something that you want to do.
Right, and to persevere is half of the winning, right?
Exactly.
That's right. Now tell us, when are you going to go up to the 360 series? Are you going to spend a couple of more years doing the 305? Or are you going to go on a nationwide tour? Tell us about what you got for the future.
So far, our plans are just to stay in 305. I'm not sure if I'd go 360. If we got some good sponsorship, I would see myself traveling in 410s. But that's definitely quite a few years away.
Okay. Now, tell us about your race car and the motor you're running is a 305. Is there a national points that you're able to follow, or is it just a local points, your local series? I have heard that some of the 305 series are actually on. It's a one type of points deal.
Yeah, we run for our series points, but we also have the IMCA points that we can run for.
Wow.
I think it's a mandatory thing. You have to sign up for that this year. But, yeah, TSRS has their own individual point series. I think, last year, my rookie year, I placed 12.
And do you own your own car, or do you drive for somebody?
I drive for my grandpa. He's the regional director of TSRS, but it's a family-owned thing.
Now, did you take his number, or do you have your own?
Kind of a little bit of both, because he's been racing for like 50-some years, and when I was little, he had been racing 3 different sprint cars. Like, he had his own sprint car team, and the numbers were 22, 23, 24. So it was just a coincidence. Like, I was born on November 23rd. He was born on June 23rd, and he's one of the most important people in my life, so I just went with 23 because it was just a mix of everything.
Now take us back to when you're 14 years old, and the first time you ever sat in a full-blown sprint car. And I hope I'm reading this correctly, but the Susquehanna Speedway, is that pronounced correctly?
Yes, Susquehanna.
Okay, now take us through that. First time you strap into the car, you pull the belts tight. I mean, what do you feel in preparing for what you know is fixing to happen, and when they finally pushed you off and that thing came to life? Just take us through when you first put your foot down to the firewall.
It was definitely nerve-wracking, being 14 and strapping into a huge sprint car. I mean, it's always something that I wanted. I was hounding my grandpa since I was like 12 to let me drive the sprint car. But, yeah, when they push you off, you don't know what's going to happen. Especially when you put your foot down. It's like it's a whole different animal that you're trying to tame. But, yeah, the way Susquehanna is the backstretch has a stream, like a little thing of lights across the back of it. And for some reason that was just calming to me, like going under it and then drop the green, and it was, I just loved it since then. I knew that it was definitely something that I wanted to do. So I spent another year in micros, and then I started racing sprint cars.
Wow. So when you get down into that first turn, I mean, was it, you talk about you didn't know what to expect. I mean, was it anything close to what you expected it to be, or was it just the stagger and the car constantly wanting to turn left? I mean, just that first overall sensation of the... I'm sorry, what, Chris?
Hey, man, I mean... I guarantee you, being the driver that she is, as soon as she got into that corner there, she did what they all do. They hit the gas.
Pretty much. I mean, I did baby it the first time, but by the end I was really getting into it, and yeah, I just fell in love then and never got back out of it.
Well, tell us what you got coming up for 2016. What you guys' schedule going to look like? Where you going to run?
2016, I have I'm running a full TSR schedule, which is Grandview, Bridgeport, New Egypt. But I'm also looking at running with the PA series a couple times at Susquehanna, Port Royal, and Susquehanna and Port Royal. I'm really looking at some of my favorite tracks.
What else sponsors you got aboard with? Is just you need to think for getting you to where you are?
I have Neary Construction, Holidays Nursery. I have Advanced Auto Parts, and I have one more. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Robbie's Automotive Warehouse.
You fit right along with a bunch of drivers when they're in victory lane and it's time to start thanking the sponsors, and they have to look over their shoulder at the car so they don't forget anybody. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that.
Yeah, you'll see it all the time. Everybody's like, I've seen people walk around their cars and look at all their sponsors holding the microphone.
Wait a minute, now y'all are taking the announcers' tricks of the trade, and you're giving our secrets away. Okay, never worry about the sponsors of the car. You can always read them when they're in victory lane.
Right.
Now we try to go a little bit more than that, though. Samantha, it's great having you on tonight as well, and it sounds like you're very enthusiastic. And tell us real quick about school. And you're 17. Do you attend a private school, or are you homeschooled, or what's going on with that? And where are you planning on going to college to?
I actually am in high school for half the day, and I take cosmetology for the second half of the day. So I'm kind of in between what I want to do. Like, after I get my license, I was always looking at schools out in New York to further my education in cosmetology, or I was also looking at early education. So I'm still deciding there. But, yeah, half the day at high school
now,
and half the day at
Okay, hypothetical question. If you could have a phone call from any team owner out there to drive for, who would it be and why?
Casey Kane, because he has the 410 team, but he also has ties in with NASCAR. So either way, whatever path I wanted to choose, that would be the team I wanted to be in with.
Now, what do you think there, folks? Somebody that's thinking outside the box. I like it. Well, Sam, we really appreciate you being on with us, and we hope you have nothing but success and good luck and good fortune out there this year. And we'll be in touch. Stay in contact to see how you're doing and all that good stuff. And we really appreciate you being on with us tonight.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
All right, not a problem. Folks, that's Samantha Lieberman, Pennsylvania product, out there running with the big boys in the open wheel classes. And
yeah, that 305,
she's got a very good head on her
20.
shoulders.
305 engine. That's not a small engine, guys. It's found mostly in a pickup truck, but definitely great talent right there, and look forward to having her back on the show again. We got Stephanie Necaise Cooper that'll be on here in just a second. I want to give another shout out to Tammy Davis, a longtime listener of the show, and also Kelvin Hyatt, all the way from Saudi Arabia. He's listening to the show tonight. So, yes, sir. And Ron Day from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So we're hitting the map all over the place. And, guys, don't forget, we are re-syndicated tomorrow night on tomorrow at lunch on I-95. Yes. I-95 re-syndicates the show. I do believe that we've got word that they are re-syndicating the show 5 nights a week. So
every day. Yes, sir.
Every day. That's cool.
Getting a lot of love from the folks over at the I-95 network, and couldn't be happier. Say a big thank you to everybody over there for helping us out and tuning into the show for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So Stephanie Necaise Cooper, she's going to be coming on now, formerly known as Stephanie Necaise. Been tearing up the dirt track since about 2007. Long-time family history in racing. She drives the pink number 26. We've known her for several years now. She's a former Pure Street champion. Stephanie, we got you on the lines here tonight.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. Good to have you on, and happy Valentine's Day, Miss Stephanie.
You too. Thank you.
All right. So now, Stephanie, tell us about this past season. I know that this was your first year that you didn't get a win since you started racing in 2007, but you also got married this year, right?
Yes, I did. Got married in May the 9th.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, this season was not our best season. We started out with a lot of bad luck from the year before. Something was breaking every week, and then I got married. We went on our honeymoon, took some time off, And then we started actually finishing races, so then we had to start setting the car up. So that took a little time to get it how I liked it. And then towards the end of the year, it started running great, and we started having some good finishes. So we're hoping this year we don't have no bad luck. We can start out strong.
Now Stephanie, you say that you had some problems with the car, but you were dealing with a lot of heavy competition as well. The Pure Street class at Hattiesburg Speedway was very healthy this year with some talent, was it?
Yes. Bubba Trotter, Jeremy Eaton, and we got some new guys that are they're doing really good jobs out there.
Yeah, it's great to see that class growing. Now you're no stranger to racing, neither is your family. Tell us about your beginning and what drove you to what was your drive to get into a race car?
Well, when I was about 5 years old, my cousin started racing, and we started going to the racetrack. And, of course, my dad had to build some race cars. He had to be part of it, too. So we started racing every Friday night in Grand Bay, Alabama, and then every Saturday night here on the coast. And grew up, loved it, rather go to the racetrack than go spend the night with my girls. And then begged my daddy to please let me drive. And then they started with the Stinger class, 4-cylinder, and finally he was like, all right, I'll let you drive. And then I had to kind of not dominate, but I won the championship and finally talked him into putting me in the pure stock with 8 cylinders.
You there, Stephanie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So you went into the 8 cylinders, and how quickly were you successful there?
Well, at first it was a whole different ball game. Stinger cars are a lot different than pure stocks. They are just front wheel drive. So when you go in the turn, you can't turn right. You got to turn regular. So when I got into a pure stock, it was a whole different world. I learned how to run through traffic or race through traffic in a Stinger, but as far as driving, I had to completely relearn it. Figured out when I go in the turn left, and it'll work. And finally figured out how to do it.
Now, your brother has a pretty cool job in racing, too, as I understand, with Denny Hamlin. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. He currently changes the front tires for Denny Hamlin, and I always pick on him because I tell him, yeah, you get to change the tires, but I get to actually drive. Unfortunately, he makes a lot more money than I do.
Well, yeah, we were going to save that one for last there, Damien. Yeah, her brother is well known, and it's kind of cool how he got the job. It was, I believe, Stephanie, he was there to practice, and somebody wasn't there, and he kind of filled in, and next thing you know, he's the guy, right?
Yeah, and he is one of the fastest guys on pit road, and everyone is always watching him, always watching his tapes, and offer him different things. And Joe Gibbs, man, they had a good offer for him. He couldn't pass up.
Well, now, were you and your mom on the couch the way he was on the wall last night when Denny Hamlin took the checker?
Man, it was nice to see. It's always good to see him in victory lane and enjoying it. But, yeah, it was nice to see him win, for sure.
Good deal. Now, tell us a lot about racing down in Hattiesburg Speedway and the racers that you race with on a week, and being a girl at a track that's really put out a lot of female racers. If you're familiar with Hattiesburg Speedway, there's been quite a few female racers to come out of there.
That's right. We have Jenny Woods, Terry Woods, that have come out of there, and I've raced with both of them. But, when I first started racing, or when I race with someone new, it's kind of like I have to gain respect from them because I am a girl driver. But most of the guys out there, they treat me as one of the guys. They don't see me as a girl. They race me hard and tough, and that's what I want to do, is go out there and race with them like that. Sometimes we might have, a straggler come around and not too sure about a girl on the track, and they bump me here or there. I just got to show them. Give me some respect, and we can race.
Now, growing up where you grew up and all those those really good racers that you have down there? I mean, was there somebody that you looked up to as a kid getting into it?
Well, Bubba Trotter drove for my dad for many years, and I've watched him turn a lot of laps. So watching him, Rodney Barber has always been one of my favorites. He's a really good, clean driver. When I first started racing pure stock, I tried to follow James Woods a lot because he was dominating pure stock, very good driver. So when I got up there, I just tried to get behind him and watch how he drove in turns and try to do my best to follow him. And that's pretty much how I learned.
Now, as far as the future of your racing, I mean, where would you like to go? What class would you like to stay in the class that you're in now, or do you have aspirations to move up? And if so, where would you like to go?
Man, I've been begging my daddy to let me move up. I would like to move up to street stock, but ultimately my goal is probably crate lates. I like the way they look on the track. I want to get one of those. So hopefully one day I can get in that.
Well, now that's a surprise. I bet you a lot of people are like, I know, we have a lot of listeners in the Gulf Coast area. And so, Stephanie, it would be great to see you in a late model. How do you think you'd feel if you got a chance to get in that rocket ship?
I think I would probably give it a few laps, see what I can do, and then put it to the floor and see what will happen when I go in the turn. But I would love to get one of those.
Good. Now, tell us about your boyfriend. He was a racer too, right? Tell us about your husband, and how does he feel about you racing now?
Well, we actually had raced together for about 3 years before we started dating. And, we have races that we watch on video, us racing side by side, before we even started dating, which is cool. So we finally started dating and got married. And, he loves racing as much as me, but I think I might love it a little bit more than him. But
now, how competitive is it in your house on a daily basis?
We're both pretty competitive, so anything we do, we're competitive with each other. We just went this past weekend and played pool and air hockey, and we're pretty fierce.
Okay, wait a minute. So the alarm clock goes off at 5:35. Who's the first to the bathroom with the toothpaste? And is it like that? Is it like you look at each other like you're at the red light and you take off? I mean, sometimes your bed's up against the wall, so you might have to actually jump over him to is it that competitive? I mean,
no.
Tell
us
about that everyday competitiveness with your husband. This is great.
No. I'm not a very good morning person, so he gets up before me.
Oh, okay. You kind of let it pass in the morning time. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't ready for that yet.
She's left traffic before 9 a.m.
Yeah, no.
Now you're go ahead, Damien.
Go ahead. I could see two race car drivers
saying you're
being
lap
married
traffic, but we know Stephanie to be late to the track a lot of times. But now, just because she gets there late, that doesn't mean she's going to finish in the back of the pack. I promise you. I think a lot of times it makes her push harder.
Yeah, normally I am coming from New Orleans from pharmacy school, and I am trying my best to get to the track on time. So when I'm there, I'm pumped up, ready to go.
I'm from New Orleans myself.
I would love to hear more about the pharmacy school as well, Stephanie.
Okay. Well, I'm graduating in May the 7th to be exact, with my Form D, so I'll have a doctorate in pharmacy. I won't be able to take my licensure exam till about the end of June, so once I start working as a pharmacist, unfortunately, I probably will not be able to race every weekend. It'll be every other weekend. So that sucks, but, I may have more money to move up to that crate.
Now,
late,
Now, you say you're coming from New Orleans. How far of a drive is that for you to make it to Hattiesburg?
Well, not doing the speed limit, a little less than 2 hours.
This is where the competitiveness comes in again, right?
Yeah. I have to be there at a certain time. I just figured if I ever get pulled over, if I tell him my story, maybe he'll just let me go.
Yeah, you're a race car driver, and you're trying to get to the dirt track.
I got somewhere to be.
Stephanie, you just give him my number, and he can call up to the Speedway, and I will be on your side. I promise.
You got it. You got it.
Now,
sure.
I'm a New Orleans native myself, and I see here that you had ran a lot at the St. Tammany Parish, and that is a track that I had never been to. Tell me a little bit about that place. How big is it? I mean, is it a progressively banked track? Is it a momentum track, flat track? I mean, what do they got going on out there?
Well, they are currently redoing it. They have some new owners that have just put dirt on the track now. But, man, my whole time growing up, that track, we always went over there and either you won or you got tore up, kind of. It had a dog leg in it. It was kind of a hard track to race, especially if you wasn't used to racing it all the time. But I didn't race there a lot. We went over there with a Stinger. They had this bounty on the sky, and I was leading the race. And we went in the turn, and he T-boned me, and I slipped. So we put a car together. It rained out the next week, went back the weekend after, and I won, and I was the first girl to win over there, and it was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't really raced over there a lot in pure stock, about 3 times, and every time I went, I've had bad luck, so I've kind of ventured to stay away from over there.
What do you got going on this year? I mean, where are you looking to run? I mean, what are your goals? I mean, what are you hoping to accomplish in 2016?
Well, we're actually building another car. It's going to be for big tracks. So since I won't be going to school and working every weekend, we plan to do some racing at other places this year that we haven't been able to do before. But, you know, my dad told me if I want to move up, I have to dominate pure stock. So that's going to be my main goal this year is try to get some wins this year and finish up front as much as I can. And try to do some venturing out on different tracks and see how I can do there.
Stephanie, who do you think is going to be your tough competition this year in the Pure Street? Bubba Trotter's moving up. I'm not sure what Rodney Barber's doing. Jeremy Eaton, I do believe, is moving up. So tell us, who do you think, you know, is it going to be Hankins? Is it going to be which one of those is going to kind of give you a run this year? Because I do remember, was it you and Cole Cameron a couple of years ago? Y'all had a great race together, and Cole's moved up now. But you've definitely had to race some of the younger people in your own class, right?
Yeah, Pure Street has always been a very competitive class, and that's what makes us really fun to watch. But definitely Hankins, he is a good driver. He's come, really quickly in the sport. French, he's doing great. Ryan Slade, he's doing great. These drivers, they just started racing, and they are already running up front, and I know they're going to be some strong competitors for sure.
Ryan Slade is actually probably listening here tonight, so glad to hear his name put out there. Ryan has a cool race car, and like you have a pretty good relationship with your fans. Tell us about the bond that you have with a lot of the young people and the crowd at Hattiesburg Speedway. How we always feel that grasp between the fans and your image and what you bring to the racetrack.
Well, I have some awesome fans. I grew up around the racetrack screaming and hollering for different people. So I understand what it's like to be one of those fans, and they are really awesome in the fact that every time I go around there, someone is always stopping me, shaking my hand, telling me how good I'm doing. Little kids come up and give me fives. I mean, it's amazing. I don't even know these people, and they come up and tell me how great I'm doing. So it is so appreciative, and it's great whenever I pull in the infield and I get out of my car and they're all clapping and hollering for me. It's awesome. It's really awesome to hear that, and I appreciate it very much.
Now, producer, do we have anybody online that would maybe want to ask Stephanie any questions? If we've got somebody that's called into the show there and listening in the backdrop, if you want to ask Stephanie a question in our last few minutes of the show, I guess we can give you a chance to do that. Go ahead, Damien.
Let's talk a little bit about the class that you're running. Why don't you give us a rundown as far as what makes up these cars, as far as some of the basic rule packages? What kind of a power plant do you run?
Well, I have a 362. I don't have a crate motor. I don't do that. I have a Monte Carlo, and we kind of built it from the ground up with the frame underneath. Now we can run sheet metal or aluminum bodies. Everything's pretty much stock. They're kind of being a little bit more lenient on different things that we can do as far as rules. Things change a little bit every year, so it's kind of getting a little bit away from stock than it used to be a long time ago, which is making the cars faster as far as being competitive. But, yeah.
Now when you roll into a racetrack, I mean, we were talking earlier about car counts this year, especially down to the speed weeks, how they've really been up this year. What kind of car counts do you normally run with? You talking 15 guys, 20 guys, 30 guys?
Yeah, normally on a weekly basis, we have about 15, 16 of us. We have a really good class of guys, usually every week, and they're usually pretty competitive. But I say as far as the classes at Hattiesburg Speedway, we have a really good amount of guys that are there week in and week out to race.
I think complete total 65 different pure street cars showed up at Hattiesburg Speedway last year. It was a very high number, and some of the guys they have problems one week, so it wasn't full time. I do know that we had 20 to 24 cars several times during the season in that class, and it's really awesome when you see that many cars out there. It shows the healthiness of the sport right now.
Exactly.
Tell us about your sponsors and who. Okay, sorry, Damien. Go ahead, man.
This is pretty much the same question. Just kind of curious as to who you got back in your efforts for 2016. Who you need to thank for getting this season up and going and ready to roll.
All right. First off, my dad, my car owner. He is the bomb. He keeps me going every week when I'm at school and work and can't help him in the shop. He keeps me rolling. And, of course, my mom for putting up with us. Then I have McMurtry's Racing Engines. They supply me with a good motor every year. Savage Performance. He's always helping me. He's learned not to bet me when he is drinking because he will lose $500 really quickly. A Streamline Paint and Body. And that's pretty much it.
It sounds like you've got a lot of good people helping you out this year for sure.
Yes.
That's right. Guys, if y'all are listening in and you want to talk to Stephanie, just press 1, and our producer will get with you, and he'll put you on the line there if you want to ask Stephanie any questions. We've got just a few more minutes here. Now, Stephanie, tell us a little bit more about the family history of racing and how long your family's actually been a part of it, and how much longer do you think that you'll be wanting to do this?
Well, we've been racing since around 92, I believe. And as far as how long, I plan on doing it as long as I can, until it's not fun anymore. I love the sport. I love going every Friday night and putting on the helmet and racing. And during the winter months, it's kind of like, what do you do on Friday night? But, yeah, as long as I plan on doing it until I don't want to do it anymore, and then, maybe one day we'll have some kids that will grow up and race. Who knows?
Now, that's another question. Are you going to bring the husband back in, or are y'all going to race together?
He's actually wanting to move up. He has a modified that he's been trying to put together. He's been working a lot out of town last season, so he wasn't able to come and race. But I don't think he wants to race with his wife anymore. I think he may be nervous about what happens when we get home. So he wants to move up.
That's wonderful. I love it. Now, when does the race season start at Hattiesburg Speedway?
So race season starts the first week of March the 4th at Hattiesburg Speedway, and I'm pretty excited because this year I get to race on my birthday, which is the 25th, and my brother will be home to watch me, so I'm looking forward to March.
Awesome. Now, we were talking about a video that had been being passed around social media that quarter midget driver out in California that had a stuck throttle, and that gentleman had jumped out in front of that car to stop her. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't. I was listening to y'all talk about that, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, we will. I will definitely post that to the show page when we're done here. But we're having a kids show next week, and kind of wanting to get your take on if you had some advice for a young lady who was going to start getting into the sport or anything of that nature. What would your advice be?
My advice would be, do it. It is a male-dominated sport, but girls are so accepted nowadays, and when you get in there and you put that helmet on, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You're a racer, and that's it. And so I say jump in, do it, go for it, show those boys what you got.
That's exactly, and I hope you guys are listening. I've just got a hold of my producer. He said we have a special caller on. His name's Dustin. Dustin, are you on the line?
Yes, sir, I'm on the line.
Do y'all know each other?
Do you recognize that voice? Do you recognize that voice, Stephanie?
I do recognize that voice.
Well, tell us who it is.
This is my brother that I'm making cool at the moment.
Oh, I thought that was the opposite way around, but I just already have maybe one question for you.
Oh, God.
Who's the better driver, me or you?
Well, we can get back on the go-kart track and find that out, because last time I checked, I have faster time than you.
Oh,
I love this.
That's what I'm talking about. Well played. Well played.
That.
We can look that up. I think it's on my email.
Oh, that's okay, guys. I really think when I get home for Easter this year to watch her race, I may just race with her.
I would love that.
That'd be great.
I would love it. Because let me tell you, my brother has been in a race car before, and he does an awesome job on those big tracks. But you put him on a small track, he might tear some stuff up.
Oh, goodness gracious. We'll have the cameras rolling for that one, Stephanie.
For sure.
That sounds like a challenge
I need
to
blackmail.
That sounds like a challenge to me for sure.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being on, Dustin. Good luck.
Not a problem, sir.
This week.
Thanks.
That was a nice little surprise, wasn't it?
That's pretty cool there, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, as you can tell, our household's pretty competitive.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Man.
Well, Stephanie, we do appreciate having you on, and we hope that you become a full-time listener every Sunday night to the show. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you at Hattiesburg Speedway. Of course, we have been highlighting some Hattiesburg Speedway drivers here on the Dirt Talk Hour. That's one of the speedways that I work at on a weekly basis. If you're somewhere around the Gulf Coast area, we hope that you come on down to Hattiesburg Speedway. Donald Parker and his family have got a great thing going on. You heard from a driver yourself. The rules are competitive. They're for the racer. Put you a car together. Come out there and join these classes while you have a chance. And we hope to see y'all March 4th as we bring the Southern Outlaw Sprinters out to debut once again. Their season debut will be March 4th at Hattiesburg Speedway. Damien, you got anything for us? Stephanie?
I just want to thank y'all very much for having me on. I appreciate it, and I had fun.
Yes, we enjoyed you as well. It kept us laughing, definitely, through the whole show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you hanging out with us, Stephanie, and wish you nothing but luck this year down there. And hopefully we get to hear from you again sometime throughout the year and keep us updated on what's going on out there.
And get that monkey off your back. Get that win, girl. Come on now. The first race of the year. We got to get it off the back.
I've been trying to give it to other people, but nobody will take it.
Go see Alku out.
Yeah, I need to see him. Maybe he's got a car for me to drive.
That's right. He may have one left.
There you go.
All right.
Well, Stephanie, thank you for being with us, and you have an amazing year, and we will be in touch for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all too.
All right, not a problem. Man, that sounds like a competitive household there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Now, I tell you what, you can only imagine what these dirt track drivers go through, being that it's family and all. Now, our producer wants us to hit on the EPA real quick. And, you know what? I don't like government, and I don't like politics, and I don't really want to end the show this way. But,
We don't have enough time.
Yeah, I would love to just like throw my career away right now and say something, but I'm not going to. So, forget you.
I'll field this one. Then. If a lot of you haven't heard, the EPA is trying to put a ban on stock cars. Now, but when I say stock cars, they mean cars that were built for street use. Like if you were to take any lower tier classes from your local tracks, like let's say Street Stock, Sportsman, Pro 4, Stingers, Pro Street, something that was once on the street that you had to convert into a race car. The EPA is trying to step in and make it to where this is going to be illegal. And a lot of people, like I say, especially in the lower classes of racing that are first getting into it, the more affordable classes, this is really going to affect them in a bad way. And
yeah, I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I mean, and I don't mean to stop the subject, but if I had a whoopee cushion right now, I would definitely play it on air because it's just a bunch of hot air, and the EPA cannot come in. They don't have any business given that kind of authority to. That would mean that you couldn't build dune buggies. I mean, how far could this law go to the point to where it would affect the national brand of motorsports? I mean, I honestly think there's some Democrat up there, some liberal trying to make waves and become a famous politician. I mean, my goodness, if Ted Cruz can read Sam I Am and then run for president 8 months later, all right, I mean, I guess that's just how you get into politics, huh, Damien?
Well, here's the loophole in this whole thing and why I don't think it will affect racing on a national level, especially with the big series. It's all in the wording. You cannot alter a street car. Now, anybody that knows, especially with dirt racing, all of our classes, when you get up into like the modifieds, the late models, the sprint cars, these cars never saw the road. These are purpose-built racing chassis that have never saw the road. So that is going to exclude that whole demographic of actual custom-built race cars right there. The biggest group of racers that are going to be hit from this is the drag racing community, because 75% of drag racing cars are not custom-built cars. They are, just exactly what the EPA is trying to ban. They are street cars that have been converted into race cars. And their whole deal about this is the greenhouse effect. Well, I don't want to lose my job either, so let's just... It's a hot topic.
Yeah, I just muted it so that people would not hear my true opinion to what I feel about people that come in and try to attack the sport that we love so much. It's let's give them something to think about for this week. Send us your opinions on what you think about the EPA, and some of the best opinions we'll read on the air next week. How about that?
Yeah, we could definitely do a whole show on this topic, and it probably wouldn't be a very pleasant one if we was to get a bunch of concerned racers and race fans in on this topic at the same time. But it'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. But it's definitely something that could affect a lot of people if it goes through, and I don't want to see that happen. I know none of us do as well, but.
But it goes back to this. I read the other day that Mississippi is trying to get rid of conjugal visits, and now I'm reading the EPA is trying to get rid of race cars. Why don't they fix what's already broken? Why don't they fix health care and education? Then we'll get everything else solved. So, it's just another politician trying to make money or get his name famous. And I'm sure it does have something to do with money. I'm sure somewhere or another he's getting his pockets full. But, yeah, we'd love to hear the opinions from this week. Contact the show. Go on the page. Interact with us. We're looking to build this thing and make it even bigger. And if you enjoyed the show tonight, make sure you guys let us know.
Yeah, constructive criticism is always key in anything that you're trying to start from the ground up. So we want to make this as fan-friendly as possible. So if you guys got ideas, concerns, topics, hey, shoot us an email. Let us know.
Yeah.
Call us up. Be on the show.
I don't mean to get so worked up over it, but, it really, we seen the attack on NASCAR a couple of years ago with the armed forces. they had never had a resource so potent of young people with, the armed forces recruiting offices and stuff being at those racetracks. And some politician sits up there and says, well, hey, we shouldn't spend this money. And, quit funding all these terrorists, as far as I'm concerned, That's exactly where you're getting your military force from, these good old people that show up to racetracks. And I just feel healthy about it. And I don't want to argue. I just want people to understand that we've got a lot of other real things going on in the world. And these kind of politicians that bring up this stuff, to keep this from being a topic, vote them out. That's all we got to do. We just got to vote them out.
Yeah, Jason just hit the nail right on the head. Our producer, he says you can't fix stupid or Obama. Sir,
that's
you are
right. Obama ticks do not work on this show. We are politically not correct, definitely. Guys, we want to thank y'all for listening. We'll be back here again next week. It's really cool. Damien, I think you've done a great job tonight. Sorry I stepped on the mic there a couple of times. Jason, our producer, appreciate everything you do back there in the back. And we want to get you guys' opinions. Y'all call into the show next week and give us some it was really cool, man. Did we not have some cool call-in guests tonight? Y'all give us a hand for that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat place. I'm the caution flag, the flag of caution. Chris Creighton. You can find us at yellowcautionflag.com. And I'll give it to you, Hi-Si.
Yeah, absolutely. Be sure and check out the people that make this happen for us. Check out everything that's going on over at yellowcautionflags.com. The people over at the 110 Nation Sports for getting us through here and providing us with the platform to do what we do. And send a special big thanks to the people out at the I-95 network for the resyndication and all the followers that we're collecting from them as well. So be sure and help spread the love for the people who help us spread the news to you. And like Chris said, we will be back here next week, same time. We're going to be talking about some kids in racing and what their plans are and what the future of the sport might hold. So we'll talk to you all then. Have a good evening. Happy Valentine's Day.
That's the Dirt Talk Hour. That's right. Thank you guys for
There are lots of things you can spend your tax refund on, but one thing you don't have to spend it on, a new smartphone. Switch to Metro PCS now and get not one, but 2 free 4G LTE smartphones for brands like Samsung and LG. Plus, you're on T-Mobile's blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Hurry! Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free smartphones after instant rebate. One heck of a deal, only at Metro PCS. Limited time offer. Sales tax not included in phone price. Coverage and services not available everywhere. See store for details and terms and conditions.